choosing law as a career? By the way, can I have some opinions on why you opted for law? Any random answers? We'll have more of interactive session. This is an interesting session for you for base building. From here you'll understand that how exactly you can take this opportunity to turn into one of the biggest opportunity of your life. Okay. So just some answers on why you opted for law. Let me see who are the better communicators here. Nobody? You can speak your mind without thinking or being hesitant on what anyone else will think.
It's empowering. It's empowering.
It's empowering. Very nice. Yeah.
Sir, law is involved in every sphere of life,
Mhm.
and I guess studying law would help me understand my advantages and disadvantages in society.
Disadvantage what?
Disadvantage means my
Advantage and disadvantages for society.
in society.
Okay, in society, great. What else?
Money.
Money, right. Okay, so you see, in law what happens is that most of the students are not like him. Okay, most of the students are social service oriented. One of the key features for somebody who is opting law as a career is that you have some social service orientation, that you want to serve the society in a way. Because what is the power of being empowered? Is to empower others. Why do you think law is powerful? Is because law gives you actually the clarity on your rights, and when you get that clarity, the next job which becomes even more important is to let others and the society empower so that they can know their rights and get the justice that is needed. So that exactly is the basic purview on why you opt for law. Now, right now is the very starting nascent stage to see that you all should be clear in your goals, and one of the things I always tell is that you don't need to. Even if you're not clear in your goals, that's perfectly alright, because today morning only I wrote a quote from one of my books that your career is not written on stone. It is an ever evolving process. Today you are learning something, tomorrow some new technologies will come, tomorrow some new understanding of life will come, and you will be keep adapting. So adaptability is the important key for your career. Okay, because right now you are starting with the basic of law as a career. In 1 year, 2 years, you will develop a specialization in corporate law or in legal justice or something else, and then you will see that as a career. And then you will get into a niche that even in corporate law, like recently I met one person who was a professor here earlier and now running a company. They do legal consulting on what? On cryptocurrency. So even in consulting and legal consulting, they get into a niche of crypto or digital currency. Okay, so this will keep evolving. The career will keep evolving. But then what happens is, when you make a house, when you make a new building, what is the first thing that you do?
Lay a foundation.
You lay a foundation. You make a base. And how the base should be?
Strong.
As strong as possible. What will happen with a strong base? Huh?
Good foundation.
What will happen with good foundation? What is the purpose of good foundation?
Now
It will last
quick,
long.
resistant.
It will last really, really long. Okay. If you see some of the examples are, it is just out of my thought process and my learning. If you see some of the examples you always see are our temples. If you see when a lot of floods come and houses are washed away, you see the temples are standing. And that is exactly why, because we had a science of very strong foundations. That is also, you will see, there are a lot of memes also on social media. If you see 100 years old building which are still there, while the 10 year, 20 years are washed away. Or similarly, there are a lot of memes on railway tracks also, that what tracks we had 100 years ago are still there. Okay, so it's all about the foundation. It's all about building the base, and the better, strong foundation you have, the good career you have. Now, what do you think, and why do you think you need a strong foundation? Let me tell you why. Okay, and this is very important for you to understand. Keep it with you for next few years. Tomorrow, if you have a strong foundation, no one can come and distract you by saying that, boss, law is not a good career. You don't have money in law. You don't have a career in law. You will not be able to do so much in law. There are so many people are doing law and they are not very successful, and they might distract you. Okay, one of the easiest thing in your college life will come is a distraction. Trust me on this. Because even after having a solid career, I'll share my profile with you, I'll share what I do. But even after having a 12 years of solid career, even today I see so many things and get distracted. So I can imagine your mindset being at such a starting phase of your journey and having so much of exposure. Today I tell you what Batman says, and I'm repeating that with great powers. That's Spider-Man. Okay, I am not a superhero person, but I'm more of a quotes person, so I picked this, but I'll correct it. So Spider-Man says, and you need to understand that with great powers now you have chosen to get some powers, and that the power is law. It is a great responsibility to continue in that and to stay focused, so that when you come out of this, you become someone who is able to serve society. And do you know one thing? There is no more money anywhere else than serving the people. You agree with me? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
I want some loud voices, I want some interaction, engagement.
Yes.
Yes? Right? So if you see some of the top lawyers, they make money like anything. But for making money, initially you have to serve the people. You have to have that service orientation mindset, and then money will come to you. Okay? Now, with that, next thing that happens is that law is a wide field. Okay? In law, you have multiple career opportunity. Law is not limited to going to court and fighting for a client. You are living in a world much more beyond that, and trust me, by the time you will graduate, you will have at least, if not more, 100 new professions added into law career. At least 100, if not more. Now, I'll give you one example. Do you know which year computers were invented or created? Just for your general knowledge. Thank you. Yeah. I was expecting someone to say 1970 or 1960, but that 1968 is the exact answer. So 1968 computers were invented. But when did you get the internet? About 1990s? 1991 to be precise. Okay. And what was the name? Jim Turner-Lee or something?
Yeah.
Someone like that. Okay. So it took almost 22, 23 years to get the internet. And when did you get from 1G to 2G? Almost 12, 13 years. From 2G to 3G, about 5 years. To 3G to 4G, about 4-5 years. For 4G to develop into high speed, about 2-3 years. And from 4G to 5G, we are in transition right now. If you see, initially it took almost 23-25 years. Then about 10 years. Then 5 years. And today, same in terms of technology. With internet came websites. If you see, yesterday it was taking years. A website building was years project. Today it can be done in 1 day or 1 hour. Or less than an hour. Sometimes it's all ready-made. So technology is growing at a very fast pace. And today when technology is developed, it is just coming the outcome of layer by layer. And it is very fast. Now why I am talking about technology is that one of the biggest career opportunity for you as a lawyer is in the field of technology. You would have lot of career opportunity that are aligned with technology. Now understand this, with technology what happens? Came these scamsters. We have seen this Jamtara web series, and there's a follow-up series also. So with technology came the scams. With the scams came the security protection and the legal solution. Now who is working on legal solution? Some of the lawyers? Yeah? So some of the lawyers will come. Some cases will come to you. Now, technology as a field is altogether innovated in a way that it is not limited to only people to people. These scam Jamtara is a people to people. But it is also at institution level, whereas companies are being cheated. If you see, there are a lot of documentaries wherein people from Africa are actually able to cheat people from in Dubai, people in Australia, in US and UK, and they are not cheating one person, altogether a different company. Okay, and similar in terms of governments. So government level also there's a lot of things are happening. One career option you understood, and a huge career option in terms of scams. Then legal security protection. If an internet company want to start in your country, there are a lot of new technologies that are coming. Suppose Telegram has come. Now Telegram has become a base for all the illegal activities, all the movie and piracy and everything. How do you find a legal solution toward it? Legal awareness. That has become one big career option. Because India as a country, we are growing rapidly. We are world's number 5 economy right now, and by the time you graduate, we will be probably number 4. And in next 20 years, we will be number 3 or number 3. And in next 50 years, we will be either number 2 or number 1 economy in the world. That is how we are growing. So with that, you still have at least 50 crore people who have no access to court, who have no understanding of legal process, who have no understanding of what law is all about. But they have one thing, that is phone and the internet. And that is where a person can exactly come and tell them in their knowledge, their language. A Hindi, Chhattisgarhi or Madhya Pradesh or Tamil Nadu or Kerala or Andhra Pradesh, any language a person can come and actually tell them what are their rights. What is the step-by-step legal approach? Or maybe going to the next level, how can someone think of their legal protection from start to end? There is a lot of opportunity. Content creation is the next big thing. And content creation in future is not about you being existing, because everyone will exist on internet. Content creation in future is all about you being able to pick a niche and speak about it. Okay, I'll give you one example of this. When I graduated and I worked in a company, social media presence was not necessary. For a company, social media presence was not necessary because they don't have to run the ads on social media. They were doing the ads in paper. Social media, someone is doing, someone is not. Before pandemic, it was a choice that okay, I have a lot of budget, I'll put some budget on social media also. But you know what happened in pandemic? Social and digital media has become a mandatory for every company, and today they are spending more on digital than on physical. So how times changes? Similarly, in terms of law, what is going to happen? Going forward, recently we had the inaugural session and you have Justice Dinesh Maheshwari. You were there?
Yes.
And if you remember what he said, that there is lot more update and upgrade in law in 2 years of pandemic than last 20 years put together. Because in last 20 years, nobody would have thought that the trial and legal and case can also be digital. But as you say, na, what do you say? Problems is the mother of all inventions, something like that. So when you get a problem, you find a solution that this has to be done when you have no other option. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you is that in legal also, you can pick technology, you can pick a court, you can pick a corporate law, and there are so many specialization. And in that, not just getting a real job is the thing, but even content and communication and digital is big area that will come in your generation. So that is where the foundation is important. And next 2 more minutes I'll take before I go to the presentation is understanding the opportunity. Okay. See, there are some careers which gives you money and job, and then there are some careers which build you a legacy. Law is one of the careers which gives you a legacy. Okay. And this is not to boost you up, but give you a reality check that if you see some of the top people in this country, you talk about Mahatma Gandhi, you talk about Motilal Nehru, then Jawaharlal Nehru, you talk about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, you talk about Sushma Swaraj, you talk about maybe Kapil Sibal, you talk about late Arun Jaitley or late Sushma Swaraj was there. I mean, the list is endless. But you'll see these all people, I am telling these people who are the public figures. There are so many others who are not so public figure out of legal fraternity, so maybe I cannot take the name, but they have a legacy. Right? Like Ram Jeshwanani. So late Ram Jeshwanani. So there are so many people who have left a legacy. Or in international you will have so many names from Abraham Lincoln to Barack Obama. They all were lawyers. So law as a career is not just giving you a job, giving you money, but also give you the opportunity to serve the people as well as the option to leave a legacy. The choice is yours, how you take it. Now this entire conversation was all about one thing, that is building the foundation. And as I said, you must register this in your mind that there is one thing that you have opted for 5 years, that is law. So now for next 5 years, there should not come anything that distract you. That, oh, maybe, have I chosen the right thing? Once you have chosen, this is the right thing, now make it right. Now make it better. Now make it successful. Now fulfill the expectations of yours and your family and whoever is expecting from you. And that is where the entire journey starts, and that is where we talk about the building the foundation. Okay. Now next thing is about me. My name is Ashish Gupta. I have been working in education industry for last 12 years. I started in 2011. I have worked with some of the top companies, education company as well as some of the top universities in the country. Apart from being an administrative professional, I am also a public speaker. I've delivered about 1,000 sessions in about 10 countries. I keep traveling and do a lot of sessions. Apart from that, I also write. I have about 11 books for now. And this is one of my books, which is AG's Career Guide on Law. So recently, I had a thought that internet has a lot of information, but the information is often confusing. You go to internet, search about a career in law, and you get so much options, so many options that it often becomes confusing. And that is where I thought that can I create a reference resource for any student who will get law in the future. So probably the student who will come next year in law would be getting a lot of insights from this book. So this is AG's book of law after 12th, which I have written recently. So now let's go to our topic, which is 22 personal qualities to help you succeed in the field of law. Okay. Now I have this question to you. What do you think are the qualities to help you succeed in the field of law?
Diligent. Being diligent.
Yeah, speak up.
Confidence.
No law? Okay.
Resilience.
Resilience. We'll check. We'll go back and check how much you know. Yeah. These are very basic things that all of you know and all of you should have. Calmness. Okay.
Good morals.
Confidence.
Confidence.
Patience.
Empathy. Patience. Yeah. What else? Self-awareness.
Discipline.
Discipline.
Education.
Presence of mind. Yes, very correct.
Questioning mind.
Questioning. Yeah.
Adaptability.
Adaptability. Correct.
Good research.
Huh?
Good research.
Good research. Yeah, good research skills. Correct. What else? Being professional, communication skills. सारे आंसर तुमने दे दिया, खत्म करें? हैं? So basically, this is all that you know, and you all know. Now, my job going forward will be that picking all your answers, putting it all together, and I put that already in the presentation. But I will also give you the reasoning on why do you need this skill. Okay. So we'll start. Gauri, if you can come here. Now, the field of law demands certain qualities and skills to thrive and excel. With legal knowledge and expertise are essential, there are several other qualities which are mandatory. Okay. Now, if you remember, we started the session with talking about building the base. So these qualities are actually the base builders. This is where your entire success starts with. So what happens once you develop these qualities, then you get the topping of your specialization. Now, as a lawyer, I have all these qualities. Now, I'm also specialized in cryptocurrency. I'm also specialized in negotiation. I'm also specialized in legal contracts. I'm also specialized in corporate law. I'm also specialized in this thing. And then I can go confidently and say that yes, I have all the qualities that make a successful lawyer. Okay, so let's go. Next slide. Number one is strong analytical skills. Okay, what happens is that lawyers must possess excellent analytical skills to analyze complex legal issues, identify relevant facts, and apply legal principles to specific cases. This is very important because as a lawyer, everything does not come in black and white. You got it? Anything and everything that comes to you is complex, is in gray area. Right? There was an interesting survey in the United States wherein they did a survey. It was one of the very notorious jails in the US, and there some social legal firm took up the charge, and they went to all the, and this notorious jail was basically famous for murderers. Okay, so they took the charge. One legal firm took the charge. They went and interviewed all the people who were in this jail, and they found the 100% rate of one answer. Can you guess the answer?
Not getting a good lawyer.
Huh?
Not getting a good lawyer.
No.
I am not getting.
Yes! Exactly. 100% people say, what? I am not guilty. But he asks, okay, but you killed your wife. Yeah, because she was shouting at me all the time. I had no other option. You bumped into a man and he was killed. It was a hit and run. Yeah, I was riding on the right lane at the right speed, but someone came. You killed 4 people because I was hungry, I needed money, and he was not giving. What do I have? I had no other option. So law becomes very complex. Every person, you have evidence, and he's coming to court and say, I'm not guilty. I didn't do that. So it is more complex than it actually seems like, and that is why you need to have strong analytical skills. Okay, next. Critical thinking. Now, this is one essential skill every lawyer has to develop, and that is critical thinking. Now, let's read it. Lawyers must possess excellent analytical skills. I think I have repeated this, so it's a mistake that is made. Critical thinking is an important skill you have because you have to understand the layers behind anything that is being said, that is being done. Okay, and it becomes more complex when you have bigger stakes. Now, imagine a company like Foxconn. Okay, so Foxconn is actually the company that makes Apple phones for Apple. Now, one of the interesting things with Apple is, and do you know that? The only thing that Apple does is design. So Apple is not a product company. Apple is a design company. And then their 100% product is outsourced, including one of the most interesting things is their screen is outsourced to Samsung. Okay, so Foxconn assemble everything and give the phone back to Apple. They put their logo, put their marketing, and sell it to you. Right? So Apple is coming from China to India, and then they want to set up. There's a lot of critical thinking skills involved to understand what is right, what is wrong, what can be happen, what cannot happen, and lot of other things. Labor issue, legal issue, lot of complexity. Right? So critical thinking. Next is excellent communication skills. I don't need to tell you on this that you need excellent oral and written skills. Okay. I always tell this to students who are preparing for law that do you have the capacity to sit and read for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, sometimes for 12 hours? If you don't have, you have to develop. Because you have chosen a field that will require a lot of reading and a lot of speaking. You have to read, you have to explain. Okay, and if you don't have, don't worry. Nobody is born with any skill. All the skills that we have are developed, basically. So you need really good communication skills to be able to precisely communicate on the matters that are relevant, and also not to speak what is not relevant. Because in courts you get very limited time. You don't have all the time for you. Maybe one day is there and 30 cases are lined up. So you get only 5 to 7 minutes to speak up for yourself. And that is where you are able to present what is right, what is wrong, and what is your approach to it. Right? Research abilities again goes without saying that you have to research, and law as a profession refers to lot of references. Do you know about that? Okay. So you will get access to a journal called Manupatra. Have you heard that? What is Manupatra?
It's a portal where you can research different chapters.
Exactly. So Manupatra is basically your reference portal or reference material wherein you can literally go in all the history of India. I mean, I don't know which year. I think it starts from 1947 or before that also. Manupatra. Which year it goes from? 1947. Okay. So anyways, at least it will give you the background of since we got independence till today, all the cases and what happens in each cases and all the critical and important cases, so that whatever case you are working on will have some reference somewhere. So you take the reference from that. Okay. Next. Attention to detail. Very, very important. That is not about what is written. It's all about what is not written. Right? So you must have the attention to read between the lines. Understanding what is there, understanding the narrative, and then getting the outcome. Okay. Next. Problem solving abilities, we have already discussed that you must have the problem solving approach, you must understand why it is done, what is done. And then to be able to understand, and also law, in terms of ethics also it becomes very critical sometimes. Okay. Because there are lawyers who have seen the cases of 498. They know who is right, who is wrong. And they still have a side to choose. And choosing it confidently. Okay. So it becomes very critical at times. And you have to think in terms of your client and not in terms of what is right and wrong. that also becomes very difficult at times for you to choose between what is right and between what you have to do. Right? So, ethical standards, as I said, that while you choose right and wrong, that's a different thing because you have to fight for your client and you have the priority towards your client, but you have to maintain the ethical standards as per the legal procedure of the court and the legal standards of the country, so that you make sure that while you thrive in your profession, you also make sure that the entire industry and overall fraternity makes a good outcome of your career, your work. Right? So the ethics are one of the top priorities for you. Time management becomes very critical. How many of you have seen Suits? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many of you got inspired from Suits to do law? You did? Anyone else? Are you inspired from any movie, any web series, anything?
Better Call Saul, sir.
Better Call Saul. Okay. उसका पहले वाला वर्जन कौन सा था? What did you say? Better Call Saul से पहले?
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. हाँ. Okay. Yeah.
Foster.
Okay.
Article 396.
396. Right. Okay. How to get away with a murder? There's a movie. It's a web series. Okay. I've not seen it. The only thing I've seen in my life is Suits and Breaking Bad. Apart from that, I cannot tolerate the web series anymore. These are so long and so time consuming that I can't get in. So it's like 5 years back somewhere I saw Breaking Bad, which was my last web series. So okay, so a lot of you are inspired by these web series, movies, which are good in a way that you got the understanding. But one thing you have to understand is time management. If you see the Suits, they were working more in the nights than in the day, right? And plus, if you see, I mean, Suits are a lot more exaggerated than the reality. You don't actually work on that scale or that level, and at least that boy who came in, at least that doesn't happen in real life. But everything else is somewhere is there. Okay. Now the thing is that there is a lot of time management that is needed. Sometimes you are required to work for 16 hours a day. You can't help it but doing it because it needs that references, it needs that research, it needs that work to be done, and it needs to be presented on time. Because the government and system will not wait. You and your client can wait. So you have to take up that pressure and that responsibility to make sure to deliver on what is required. Time management, interpersonal skills. Now, do you understand what is interpersonal skills?
Communicate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Understand someone's perspective.
Let me simplify for you because this is a very crucial skill that not many people know or understand or try to learn. Okay. You know intercity? Intercity means? Between two cities. Similarly, interperson. Between two persons. And that is exactly what interpersonal skills is. One of the key skills for your life is developing the interpersonal skills. And interpersonal skills is basically a set of skills put together in one. In brief, if I say, that is understanding a person and behaving in a way that makes the solution amicable. So as a lawyer, as a professional, you'll be dealing with a lot of people. This is written here also that you'll be dealing with clients, you'll be dealing with your colleagues, you'll be dealing with judges and a lot of other stakeholders. That is where you need to manage your skills in a way that it makes win-win for both the parties. And always remember, I mean, you'll learn this later, but law is all about win-win and not win-lose. The win-win can be between the client and someone else, between not just two parties, because there are so many parties. At least the win-win should be between the winner and between the justice. So that way. Resilience, yeah, some of you said that you need resilience. The legal profession can be challenging and demanding, require resilience, perseverance. Lawyer encounters setbacks, high pressure situation, a lot of issues. But as I said, resilience, why you need it? Because I see every year I interact with thousands of law students, and one of the things I find is distraction. And you must be seeing I'm repeating it a lot of time. Why I'm repeating it? Because today Instagram is a rave. You can live your life probably without food, not without Instagram. If I'm not wrong. I don't know. How many of you are not on Instagram? Oh, great. We have two people. How many of you who are active Instagram users? Just be open. You don't have to hide. There's nothing wrong. I use Instagram. So don't worry about that. Okay? It's not that we are judging each other. Yeah. Now let's go. How many of you are active Instagram users? Great. How many of you are content creators? Great. What content do you create? Short films. On what subject? Anything? Okay. Music?
Sketches.
Sketches? Okay.
Lifestyle and fashion.
Lifestyle and fashion videos. Okay. How many of you are using Instagram but don't really like it? Great. Great. And then we have few people who don't use. Can I know why you don't use Instagram?
Waste of time.
Waste of time? Why do you think it's waste of time? I mean, just trying to understand.
I don't get anything out of it. I use LinkedIn. I get something out of it. I don't use, like, I sometimes use Twitter, maybe for some political information, because it's reported there. Instagram,
I mean, this is one of the finest answer, but practically how many use it is not sure, but there's a good answer that where do you find value? Okay, finding value is very important. Like he doesn't find value in Instagram. A lot of you will. Okay, sometimes it's always out of curiosity. Why I'm telling this is, and why I'm specifically talking about Instagram is because the short format content becomes very distracting because you don't know what the next swipe is taking for you. The next swipe can be very happy for you, can be the most depressing thing for you. Triggering, yeah. So you never know. And that is why I always advise students that use it with caution. That not everything that you are seeing is real. During pandemic, we have seen a lot of content creators faking the screenshot showing that we have made 1 crore and triggering others to sell their courses. Which was legally, morally and ethically not right. But they did it. Because most of the time people see and people are triggered by such things, including money. If you see somebody says that I made 1 crore and I'll help you make it, you are triggered that, boss, making 1 crore, it's a good deal. And I'm only charging 299. You say it's even better. Right? So, these are the things. I mean, it's very triggering. Yeah, that was the right word. Continuous learning. Law is one such field that you have chosen, is a lifetime of study. For every case, even a person like Ram Jethmalani at the age of 95, when I met him, he was 96 years old. And at that time also, because he had a big team of course, but at that time also to present in a case, he has to read and prepare himself. So law is all about lifetime of reading, lifetime of learning and lifetime of continuously evolving. As I gave you example of Manu Batra, you will be taking references from Manu Batra throughout your life. Because every case is unique and every reference is unique. Confidence, we have already talked about. Public speaking, I think this is key skill, right? You are presenting to the public, so public speaking skills become basic. How do you develop public speaking skills? Public speaking skills for everyone is not natural, but that is learnable skill. And public speaking is not a big deal. All you need to start is, there are two things are important for public speaking. One is consistency, second is practice. So you have to practice every day and you have to be consistent. If you do these two things, by the time you get out of college, you will be not a good but a great public speaker. Okay. Adaptability. The law field is dynamic. Sometimes you are working with an extremely poor person, and on the other hand, you are working with a person who is a millionaire. So adapting to different situations. Sometimes you are working on you are a criminal lawyer, so sometimes you are working on a crime, a petty crime, and sometimes you are actually working on murder or maybe mass murder. And sometimes this all can happen simultaneously. Right? So the adaptability is very important to deal, to understand, to be empathetic, understand the other side and adapt accordingly. Okay? Teamwork, of course, some things are not done alone. In management, we have a lot of things that I can do. Just like creating a website, I can do. But justice is something which is a definite teamwork that you cannot deliver. Right? Neither the judge alone can deliver. A judge needs a lawyer, a setup, lot of stuff, lot of background research, people. I mean, there's entire system in place. So without teamwork, you're not going anywhere. So you have to develop teamwork skills. From right now, you need to understand yourself, you need to judge yourself and see, are you the person who work in isolation? If you are the person who work in isolation, start working with people. Start making teams, start adapting, start understanding each other and make a team and work. Don't work in isolation if you want to continue law and make a successful career out of it. Okay. Next is empathy and emotional intelligence. We have talked about it, that you actually need to understand the other side, be very empathetic and then work accordingly. Negotiation skills are critical, but probably one of the toughest skills in what we talked about. You can learn everything, but negotiation skills, the more easy it sounds, the more tough it is in real. And this is something which actually comes with practice. Irrespective of how much I tell you, you will learn only when you deal with real people. Okay, so negotiation skills, leadership. Of course, I mean, you need leadership. It is advantage for people because, as I said, leadership, public speaking, some of these skills that go hand in hand. Okay, so when you are representing a case, you are already a leader. Now, at that duration, you have to show what kind of leader you are, right? Cultural competence, yeah, this is interesting, and this is very interesting because you would not know about this. Any idea what is cultural competence?
Being okay with others' culture, accepting.
Correct. And yeah, speak up. What is cultural competence? Any idea? No idea. How many generations of your family you think you know or you remember? 3 generations? At least 3 generations? How many, if you remember 3 generations, that means father of your grandfather, in case if you remember, how many cities you think he would have traveled? How many cities?
2-3 times.
Maximum 2-3? Sometimes not even beyond his city? Right? 2-3 is maximum, right? How many cities you think your grandfather would have traveled if he had traveled? Probably entire India. Huh? Probably if you are a Hindu, then Char Dham Yatra. Right? So understanding different cultures. How many cities and exposure you think your father would have?
Every month sometimes.
Sometimes every month, and probably at least he would know about the entire India. He would know that there are 7 states exist in Northeast also. And he would know that there are South Indians, there are North Indians, there are cultural, there are people who eat dosa, and there are people who eat dal chawal and all that. And then how about your generation? Global. You know that Antarctica exists. You know North Pole and South Pole exist. You can go to Google or you can go to YouTube and just type, and you can see that how actually polar night happens. You can actually see what happens in Alaska or what happens in any city of the US, or you can actually go to a live stream to see that what is happening in this particular place of Los Angeles. Or you can actually go and see what is happening in Australia right now just by switching their news channel. Are you getting a trend here? Are you understanding a trend here? And what is the trend?
Generation by generation, we are becoming more global.
Exactly. Generation by generation, we are becoming more global. Lot of cultures are coming together. Bangalore 30 years back would be mostly about South Indian people, or maybe I can guess go 60 years back because 30 is like very fast here. Would be mostly about South Indian people. But today Bangalore is a meltdown of all the cultures coming together. You will find people from all of India, or maybe your class would be a perfect example of cultural competence, wherein you would be having people from at least 10 states or more. And all the 10 states would have different cultures, right? So this is exactly what is called cultural competence. When you are able to deal with everyone in the same way, the culture doesn't become a challenging element to deal and get a solution, right? Because earlier, one more challenge was language. But today that cultural competence has also come that even if you go to Chennai and speak in Hindi, you will finally get some help. Or you know English and you can speak, probably everyone would understand. Right? So this is the cultural competence. Why I am telling you all this, that by the time you graduate, India, the way we are growing, you will be seeing, today we have migration. That means people from India go abroad and work in Europe or Australia or New Zealand or Canada or US and study and work. And in your generation, you will see one more trend, and the trend will be reverse migration. Exactly. That time, India would be probably the 3rd biggest economy of the world, and you will see people from Europe and people from other countries and developed. When I say reverse migration, that means developed countries coming and working in India. and you will be seeing Indian companies are able to pay at par of what is being paid in US or what is being paid in UK. That is where this skill will become very important, that you have the cultural competence to deal with people irrespective of which culture they are from, right? Yeah. Networking is one essential skill, irrespective of which field you are from. Networking is one essential skill. You have to network with people, you have to talk to people. You should know people, people should know you exist, and that is where all your work will turn. Client service orientation, very, very strong. When you get into client servicing, the client is most important thing. You need to understand their need and deliver accordingly. Next is business acumen. This is not an important skill, but maybe for some of you who want to get into business, start your own practice, you can learn certain skills. In IFM, because we also have the management courses and business courses, so you'll learn a lot of business skills as well. But that is where it will happen. Go to next slide. Integrity is the foundation. We discussed about that, very important. And the next slide is, while possessing these qualities is beneficial, it's important to note that they can be developed and on over time. Okay, through education, practical experience, commitment to personal and professional growth, aspiring legal professional can cultivate these qualities and set themselves up for success in life. It's over. You can wake up now. I didn't disturb you. Okay, so the overall thing is that there are few things that are important for you. While all these qualities are good, one thing that is interesting for you is that it will come with time. You have to spend certain time to develop these things, and it will take a lot of practice to actually get these in place. But if you do it, it will make you successful. Okay, so that is it from my side. We have a small Q&A. In case you have any question that is related to law, related to career, related to your 5 years in law school, related to anything that you think is important to get the answer right now, we can discuss. Any questions? No?
What is actually integrity, moving beyond the definition of textbook? Why is it important?
Integrity is understanding someone's expectation and delivering accordingly. Right? That is one way of thinking integrity. Second is, integrity is understanding your own expectations and delivering accordingly. Right? I'll give you one example. Like being in education, being in business, where I have to deal with a lot of people. There is one thing I've done for myself, that is, when it comes to monetary part, I am an ethical person. That means I want to leave a legacy that says that Ashish Gupta, in your life you have done everything but did not settle on monetary benefits. That is integrity for me. Okay. So integrity can be a person-to-person thing, but it's all about being ethical and able to serve others in a way they expect. That's it. Alright, thank you so much everyone. It's really great talking to you, and I hope you have learned something. Practice is the key. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the success for your journey in law.